Welcome, everyone. This is Prep Football Tonight, presented by National Scouting Report. I am your host, Brandon Reed. A lot to get to in this show. Big games all around us this time of year. We had one of the biggest matchups we could have asked for last week on Tubetown, on paper, that is. The number 8 Pocahontas Redskins and the number 5 Gosnell Pirates. We'll talk more about this game in just a moment. But it's also a big week here on Tubetown because we are broadcasting our first ever Viewers' Choice game. We asked you, our viewers, and the local communities to tell us where you want us to go this week by visiting our website, tubetownonline.com, and vote for your choice of Game of the Week. Our Blytheville and Paragould fans spoke the loudest, so we are in Greene County tonight as the Paragould Rams play host to the Blytheville Chickasaws. Now, Paragould is looking for their first win of the year, and Blytheville is looking to win the 5A East title. Now, two teams that went down two different roads so far this year, to say the least. Now, we'll preview this game a little bit more as we get closer to kickoff. But before we do that, we need to let's wrap up what we saw last week, Pocahontas and Gosnell. We didn't get that last-minute drive to win the game many of us thought we would have. In fact, the game was pretty much over at the half. The Redskins came ready to play in the rain and sunk the pirate ship. So let's take a look at Pocahontas' scoring plays from last week as they owned this 2-minute drill. Monkeys in the truck, play that video.
And Carlos Blytheville in the backfield. He'll take the pitch out to the right. Stutter step back up to the middle. And he got hit hard. He might have lost the ball. He'll hand it off to Sword this time. He follows his blockers to the left. He's got a hole at the 5. And he'll reach the end zone for a touchdown. Pocahontas on the board.
Delta Bank debit card. Your choice of given on your card from First Delta Bank.
First down play for the Pirates. And Carlos in about a minute and 50 seconds. And this time Heron is driven down in the backfield at the 40. Off up the middle, and that pile is going to be pushed backwards. And the formation, he's going to roll to his right, look to throw to his left. He can't find anyone to throw to. Throws a duck in the end zone, jump ball, tipped, and it's intercepted in the end zone.
They're going to bring it out.
Reese Coates is going to bring it out. He's at the 10, the 15, hurdles the defender at the 20, and he was hit out of bounds, and that'll... Three backs in the backfield, they'll hand it off to Wolf, and Wolf just powers his way through for an easy 6. There's one tight end. Fakes the handoff to Blackman, facing pressure. Partee throws a pick at the 15-yard line. It'll be... There's a run up the middle by Wolf. Wolf jukes one defender at the 5, and it's a touchdown. One blocker ahead for Blackman, but they won't use him. They're going to throw it. Oh, and Heron lost it. He caught it, and he was smoked. And fourth down here. Blackman punts it. It's blocked. Can't scoop and score. Blackman, no.
Maybe. He will.
And they will. Unbelievable. Shelby Avery comes up with the loose ball.
Yeah, you're right. And they really hurt themselves. And aside from Wolf doing damage, getting some more Tubetown touchdowns, Andy.
He's going to score.
Start the turbo clock.
No one had a shutout on their radar last week, but that is exactly what happened. Pocahontas came into Gosnell and blanked the Pirates 44-0. Pocahontas was all over whatever the Pirates tried to do offensively. And the stat of the game was, to me, 437 rushing yards by Pocahontas. Gosnell just had 171 yards of total offense, period. Eric Wolf now has 6 touchdowns in his 2 Tubetown games this year. Pocahontas moved up 1 spot in the 4A state rankings, according to Hootens, to number 7. Gosnell drops to number 12. Now, Pocahontas finishes up the season at home. They host Highland tonight and Westside next week. Gosnell will be on the road at Westside tonight and then finish up the season against Harrisburg at the Pirate Ship in the final week of the season. So we'll talk more about this game and the future for both Pocahontas and Gosnell with Larry Perrin on the other side of the break. Tonight, your Tubetown Game of the Week features the Blytheville Chickasaws seeking the 5A East title against the Paragould Rams and looking for their first win of the season. So stay where you are. Prep Football Tonight continues after this.
If you got a hope and a dream to play in college, I want you to have it. But I also want you to know that there's got to be things to be done to get there. Only 1% will play at the Division I level, all D1 levels. I really don't care what you know, but it'll be who you know that gets you through the door so that you can show somebody what you know. We're real. We evaluate kids. We talk to college coaches every day. And that's what we do.
Welcome back to Prep Football Tonight, joined by Larry Perrin as promised. Man, just a whole lot going on this time of year. You got playoff games unfold, or seeding implication type games unfolding all over in all of these conferences. So much to keep up with this time of year with just 2 weeks left in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you talk from the 6A, 7A all the way down to the 2A. We've got. This is a critical week for all of our teams in the area, basically. Playoff seeding and how that's going to jockey out, and then the conference championships could all be determined out of this week right here. So it's a really big week in football in Northeast Arkansas.
So, Larry, did we see the 4A decided last Friday night?
Yes, I believe we did. I believe Pocahontas will win out. And they should go in as the #1 seed, get first round bye in the playoffs. They were just a better team. They dominated every facet of that ball game. Offensively, defensively, kicking games. They went out there and they did a job, and they looked like they were business professionals taking care of business.
And then they actually close up the season at home now. They get to play Highland tonight and then close out with Westside next week. So they are home to stay and could be home to stay for quite some time, maybe possibly the next month.
Yeah. When you got the #1 seed, the next away game is in Little Rock, So, I really think Pocahontas is going to make a deep run. Coach Beatty's got those kids playing good. You just see a very well-balanced team on offense and defense. Their skills are very good. They've got skills all over the place. They've got good running backs. The quarterback is just rock solid. The offensive line is just phenomenal. They were making some big holes out of a big defensive line of Gosnell. They were blowing some holes open, big Tyler Hartage and some of those guys, And then the defense of Pocahontas is always scrappy. And they gave Gosnell fits. Gosnell never could get going. So, and I credit that to Coach Beatty and the staff and putting a scheme out there that kept Gosnell kind of off balance.
They definitely look like they were the more prepared team, a ready-to-play team right from the opening kickoff. Now, and here's kind of the stat that jumps out to me, Larry. What I saw from Pocahontas is 437 rushing yards on the night. Gosnell had 171 total yards of offense, so dominating on the ground like you're talking about, but also that defense was all over the place. Anything Gosnell wanted to do, Pocahontas was all on top of it with 4 or 5 guys. Carlos Blackman, I think maybe his longest run was about 20, 25 yards down the sideline, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, Gosnell had a chance there deep in Pocahontas territory one time to make a score, and they rolled out, and Gosnell, which is not a passing team, went back deep to pass, and the ball gets tipped around 2 or 3 times and gets caught, intercepted in the back of the end zone, and then brought out and nearly flipped the field on the interception return. It was just Pocahontas' night, and they like you said, they came out ready to go. And it's just all about preparation and getting your mind right and knowing that you're fixing to face a big opponent, and they came out and put it on.
Eric Wolf has kind of been one of the bigger players of the game on Tubetown. We've done 2 Pocahontas games here on Tubetown. Mr. Wolf has 6 touchdowns in those 2 games.
Yeah. I don't want to stand in front of him when he's rolling. That kid's a load, and he's a good football player. And he's just one of many on Pocahontas' team.
So now Pocahontas does jump up in the state rankings just a little bit, just 1 spot, which I thought was kind of low. There must be some really powerhouse schools in that 4A in the state to keep a team like Pocahontas at number 7 in the state rankings.
Yeah, I mean, Robinson suffered their first loss last week to Dardanelle, who is a powerhouse, and both of those teams are ahead of Pocahontas. And, you've got some of the teams over in the West and some of the teams down in the Southwest that are always perennial powers. Your Nashville, your Malverns, the teams like that. So it's just, the 4A conference, it has for years been called the most competitive league in the state of Arkansas.
Now, Gosnell will look to bounce back tonight. They will travel to Westside. And the good news for Gosnell and their chances of bouncing back is Gosnell is 14-0 against Westside. Westside has never beat them according to the stats that I have in front of me. So that's quite a streak. So we look for Gosnell. And here's something else about Westside. Larry, Westside is in the playoff hunt. If you look at that conference, the season didn't start out so well for them, but they are right there, and right now I think projected to make a playoff, get a playoff berth.
Yep. I said this at the beginning of the season. I thought Coach Engel would have those guys in the playoffs, they're winning some games. Granted, they played Harrisburg, who's kind of down, but they won convincingly and they had a good ball game. There's too many athletes on the field for Westside not to have some good games. Keyshawn Gillespie is as good an athlete as there is in the state of Arkansas. He's fast and he knows how to move. The McFadden kid at quarterback, who's just a junior, is very good. So, Westside doesn't surprise me by being in the playoff picture. And Gosnell, here again, Gosnell has to get their mind right because they're going to go over here against a decent Westside team, and they better be locked and loaded and be over the Pocahontas ordeal and be ready to play.
Now, also to kind of finish recapping some things and games of last week. Now, the team we have tonight here, Blytheville, they had a huge win against Batesville. It was in Blytheville, but they put it to Batesville early and often. First score I got, I think, 27-0, I think was the first score that I got, if I'm not mistaken. I just couldn't believe it. I had to double check several sources to make sure that was right, but they put it to Batesville.
Yeah, Blytheville really came out and attacked Batesville, kind of hit them in the mouth early. Batesville tried to throw the ball in the direction of Jordan Jackson for the start of the game, and that never is going to turn out good because he's one of the best cornerbacks in the state of Arkansas. Then they would throw a quick toss out his way, and he was making a bunch of tackles. Blytheville just dominated this game on both sides of the ball. The defense was phenomenal against Batesville. The points that Batesville scored were in the second half, Malik Smith, the junior for Blytheville, outside linebacker, is just a phenomenal athlete. He was taking on blocks head on. They started trying to cut him, and he was getting off of blocks and making plays. And then he came in and made some big runs in the second half at running back to spell Miko Clark. There was a 3rd and 15 situation where Blytheville had to get the first down, and he basically puts the team on his back and it gets the 15 yards after bouncing off people. And I mean 15 yards after contact. This young man was determined, and he made the plays. Some other kids that stood out for Blytheville, the offensive line, Larry Clark and Josh Plunkett and those guys were just gaping some holes for Miko and the other backs to run through. And, of course, Miko Clark did his thing again. He had another big night. Chase Turner on defense was making several plays this week. And the good thing about Blytheville right now is I think they're starting to gel. They've got DJ Moore back at quarterback, so things are Coach is playing the hot hand with him right now. He's the one that's leading them, so he's going to keep going now. Terry Northern's healthy now. He's been out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now with a sprained ankle, so he's healthy and he's coming back. And, it's just Blytheville starting to gel at the right time. And they're, what Coach Fisher's keys to the game tonight are, he's got to know where number 5 is at all time. Mr. Brett, he's offense and defense. You've got to identify him because he's going to either make plays or block you, or on defense he's going to come up and make a play from linebacker spot. Another key that Coach Fisher talked about was blocking and containing the ends, the 2 defensive ends, number 81, number 51 for Paragould, because they squeeze well, and that makes it hard to run that zone, outside zone. So, Blytheville does not want to overlook Paragould because Paragould has been a spoiler for Blytheville the last couple of years, and they are not. I don't think they're going to overlook them tonight, but they got to be focused. And Paragould's going to have a nice crowd out. It's a great stadium. It's a beautiful place to play football, you know, and on the turf. So it's going to be an interesting night. But, you know, one thing I do need to touch on real quickly is, you know, Blytheville played Batesville last Friday night. Well, this week we had, you know, the Batesville Pioneers had an incident where they lost 2 of their players. And, you know, it's just tragic that 2 kids that are playing on football on Friday night were not here, you know, 3 or 4 days later. And it's our thoughts and prayers go out to the Batesville football team, Coach King, the town of Batesville, and we know everybody over there is hurting, and we're thinking about them. One thing that I did want to bring out is that Blytheville High School is wearing the Batesville colors as on a patch on their helmets this week to honor their 5A brothers, and I just thought that was a pretty cool deal, and it just shows a lot of class by the Blytheville kids over there, and how they feel for their brothers, because they are a brotherhood. You know, whether you're an opponent on Friday night, you're a brother on Monday, and these kids are 5A strong, is what they're saying, and it's just really good to see this kind of support coming out of the program.
Absolutely, and you talked about that. Those 2 teams were combatants on the football field this past Friday night, you know, playing a football game, but an incident like this really kind of puts life into perspective, and football is just a game. It's just a bunch of numbers. It's just a game. So it's really nice to see when everyone kind of puts everything else aside and focuses on what's really important. And the fact is, one of our area schools lost a couple of young kids this week. So really good to see that. And I know with National Scouting Report, you guys are close to a lot of these kids, you know, and when stuff like that happens, it absolutely does break your heart. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a extended look at National Scouting Report, and we'll be right back.
If you got a hope and a dream to play in college, I want you to have it. But I also want you to know that there's got to be things to be done to get there. And by the way, you need to remember these percentages: 4.5%, 1%, and 0.5%, and 1/10 of 1%. 4.5% represents the number of kids that will actually play somewhere in college. So if there's 100 of you here, statistics tell me that there's less than 5 of you that are going to play. What do you think 1% represents? Only 1% will play at the Division I level, all D1 levels. What's 1/10 of 1%? The number of kids that'll play in a major conference. But right now, if the dream is to play and get your education paid for, if not all of it, part of it, then you got to do the things necessary to get there. There's got to be something that sets you apart. And most of the time, it's going to be the connection. I really don't care what you know, but it'll be who you know that gets you through the door so that you can show somebody what you know. We're real. We evaluate kids. We talk to college coaches every day. And that's what we do.
Welcome back, as we just got finished taking a look at that extended look from National Scouting Report. You know, busy time of year, but you guys stay at it. It's a lot of fun being out there running those camps and whatnot, and maybe getting a few surprises that come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, each time we do a combine, we find athletes that we never expected, and you know, it's just I love doing the combines. It's my favorite part of my job. You know, and helping these families, helping these kids get opportunities to go to college and to change their life. You know, it's a dream come true for some of them, and without what we do, a lot of these kids would not get this opportunity. And I mean, I'm just being frank about it. We open the doors for them. They still have to walk in and talk to the coaches, but this is what we do every day. We deal with college coaches on every day basis, and you know, we've been doing it longer than anybody else.
And do a great job at it. I know you guys are all over, just in our neck of the woods here. You guys are all over the place. Just hired a new scout recently, and he was at the game. Jason Barber was at the Pocahontas Gosnell game. So now talking about that Gosnell-Pocahontas game and just all of our matchups here, we have some messes in these conferences. That Blytheville-Batesville final score basically left the 5A East a mess. You have Wynn, Forest City, Batesville, and Blytheville all at 4-1. That's some good football right there. All those teams are 4-1 in the conference. You know, how does that even happen?
It's they didn't predict it this summer. You know, and if the tie comes down to a three-way tie and everybody's beat everybody, then they're going to have to go to points for the tiebreaker. You know, so Coach Fisher and his staff are watching that Forest City Wynn game pretty hard this week. It's going to have a big outcome on their standings in the conference.
Yeah, absolutely, because that could set up a huge showdown with Forest City next week for Blytheville if they keep on rolling here tonight against Paragould. So another one that's kind of a mess that we've got a couple of options for our viewers' choice game in is the 3A. We have Hoxie and Rivercrest at 4-1, seen both those teams this year, and Osceola, Cedar Ridge, and Manila all at 3-2. How's that going to shake out?
Well, the Cedar Ridge and is going to have to win to get in. Osceola and Rivercrest play each other next week, and then Hoxie and Manila play each other next week. So they'll help decide a lot of things. But it's just good football. It is what it's all about. Competitive football all the way through the season. Meaningful football every Friday night for these kids. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not hard to get kids motivated when you're putting that playoff seed out in front of them, and they get after it. And these conferences have proved that you don't have a lot of big guys, little guys, just pretty much even throughout. And I'm really enjoying Northeast Arkansas football right now.
The 3A3 scheduling committee or whoever puts that together did a pretty good job this year because, again, two of our choices for your viewer's choice game of the week, which, again, will be announced at halftime tonight, so stay tuned throughout the game. You don't want to miss that, see where we're going to be next week. But you got Hoxie at Manila, and you also have Osceola at Rivercrest. That's two of the options, and both two huge games in that 3A3.
Well, Osceola and Rivercrest, this is the rivalry. This is 12 miles of interstate separating these two schools. And, this is kids that are related to each other playing against each other. So this is going to be a war, and you can throw out every record prior to the game starting. It doesn't matter. I never pick this game because you never can pick this game. It's always a toss-up.
And also, real quickly, Larry, we didn't get to talk about last week, but if you can, real quickly, talk about the Marktree Indians and how they're putting it together, riding a 3-game winning streak right now and find themselves right in the middle of the 2A3 conference shakedown as well. Blake Daniel seems to be playing at his best.
Yeah, Blake, Coach Wallace kept this Paxton game in his hip pocket until he needed it, and they come out now with a spread package, and Blake, who we know has a great arm, is getting to spin the ball a little bit now, and they're really making some teams pay. And we keep bragging on Blake. Blake, who just is just a phenomenal baseball player. He intercepted a pass and took it back 93 yards. So he plays defense too. Just a good all-around athlete. D. Griffin, another basketball playing athlete, is really shining for him on the football field. So just excited what Marktree's doing. When they found this passing game, it changed their whole program.
And they've got a big one tonight. They're at EPC, their big rivalry game. So lastly, Larry, real quickly, what's your keys of the game tonight for Paragould to stay in this game, basically?
Well, Paragould is just going to have to, they can't go 3 and out. They're going to have to control the clock. They're going to have to keep Blytheville's offense off the field. The problem with that is Blytheville's defense is a very high turnover margin team. They produce turnovers, they create turnovers, and they put you in bad situations where you're behind the chains. So but Paragould, in order for them to keep it close, they've got to keep their offense on the field.
Yep. All right, so we'll find out in just a couple of minutes. We're going to step aside for another real quick break, and when we come back on the other side, we'll have about 2 minutes of final game prep and then send you live to Ram Stadium. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Prep Football Tonight. We are moments away from sending you live to Ram Stadium for Blytheville and Paragould. Last time we saw Blytheville here on Tubetown was way back in week 1. They traveled to Osceola. It was the Chickasaws that night as they picked up the 44-0 win. D'Amico Clark did D'Amico Clark type stuff, scoring 4 touchdowns, and the athletic Tyrell King had a pick 6. Blytheville held Osceola to 100 yards of total offense that night. Since then, Blytheville pulled off a big win against West Memphis, lost 2 tough games at Marion and at Wynn by a combined 11 points, and have since then rattled off 4 straight 5A wins, including controlling last week's game against Batesville. Now, D'Amico Clark had 278 yards rushing in last week's game. You'll definitely hear his name called a few times here tonight. He'll also be running behind his big blocking back, De'Aric Haley, and tackle Josh Plunkett. Terry Northern will be behind center, and you may also see Desmond Moore get some snaps at QB as well. Tyrell King and Jordan Jackson are athletic receivers that will play on both sides of the ball. Now, you will also see Walt Daniels, Tamarcus Bohannon, Trey McDaniel, and Isaac Kelly get involved for the Chickasaws here tonight. Now, switching things up on the Paragould side of the ball, they'll play senior quarterback Jacob Sullinger out of the shotgun spread the majority of the time here tonight. Now, he can take off running if that pocket breaks down, and he makes pretty good accurate throws to his receivers when given time. One of his biggest weapons will be Kevion Britt, a 6'1 senior receiver. Now, he'll also throw to some other seniors, Javon Robinson and Demontia Jean-Baptiste. Jarrett Sire will also take snaps at running back, and the 6'3 senior Dustin Granger will also see work at tight end, but he will primarily be the wrecking ball, just wreaking havoc all over the defensive side of the ball for the Rams here tonight. So Blytheville will have to keep an eye on him on the defensive side. Now, Blytheville does lead this series overall 8-3, but Paragould has won the last 2. Now, including in that was 34-15 victory last year in Blytheville. So, will they repeat that performance here tonight and stun the Chicks again for their first win of the season? Or will Blytheville and D'Amico Clark sprint past the Rams back to Blytheville in anticipation for next week's 5A showdown against Forest City in a game that could be for the conference title? We're about to find out. It's Coach Ben Fisher's Blytheville Chickasaws against Tim Branham's Paragould Rams. Andy Maness and Alex Smith will be your hosts for the next 2+ hours. Your Tubetown Viewer's Choice Prep Football Live Game of the Week starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the first of 2 Viewers' Choice games of the week here on Tubetown. We come to you live tonight from Ram Stadium on senior night as Paragould hosts the Blytheville Chickasaws and senior running back D'Amico Clark, who's already got over 1,300 yards this season. Andy Maness and Alex Smith underneath the headset tonight to bring you all the play-by-play action. And we're getting set here on senior night, and they're about to play the national anthem here at Ram Stadium. There's the national anthem played by the Paragould High School Band as we welcome you again into the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week, the first of 2 Viewers' Choice games. And we asked the viewers what you wanted to see here on the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week, and you told us you wanted to see the Blytheville Chickasaws come to Paragould tonight to face the Rams. And I know a lot of people very interested in seeing senior running back D'Amico Clark again, who's already over 1,300 yards on the season. In fact, in the last 3 games, Alex, D'Amico Clark has put up 871 rushing yards, and you talk about a senior running back. That's such an asset to have to your team. A lot of leadership in D'Amico Clark.
You're absolutely right. You said the viewers wanted to see Blytheville, and I think more of them maybe wanted to see D'Amico Clark play tonight. And the first time we saw him here on Tubetown back in week 1, Chickasaws picked up a 44-0 win over Osceola. And that last week, Clark had 278 rushing yards in 1 game.
That's just absolutely unreal. And not to take anything away from the rest of the team, because this is a Blytheville Chickasaw team who's coming into tonight 6-2. They're 4-1 overall in conference play this year. Tied for first amongst the likes of Wynn. You also have Forest City and Batesville in the mix as well. They're all 4-1 right now at the top of the 5A East. So a lot's going on in the conference. A lot can be decided with a game tonight going on between Forest City and Wynn.
Yeah, you're
and of course
absolutely right.
Next week as well, as Blytheville will face Forest City.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Things are going to get solved tonight as Wynn does go to Forest City. It's looking like Blytheville will come out with the win here tonight. Paragould may have something up their sleeve tonight. It is senior night, so you never know what can happen. But like you said, things will get solved tonight and next week, and all these teams that are 4-1 here at the top of the 5A East will fall into place as it becomes playoff time.
Well, unfortunately, Paragould not having a year to write home about, winless so far on the year in Coach Tim Branham's 7th year as coach of the Paragould Rams, and hasn't been able to really get much success going with this program so far. Won 4 games last year and unfortunately hasn't been able to pull out a win this year, but some very close games. A 1-point game with Rivercrest to start off their season. The final there 14-13. They missed an extra point, losing that game in the 4th quarter, letting Rivercrest score and getting the win. And then a very close game with Truman as well, 14-6 there, and a 3-point loss to Valley View, 17-14. So some bright spots to find for Paragould throughout their season, and looking forward to the future especially. But going back to the Blytheville Chickasaws, you talk about some of the other big names for them outside of D'Amico Clark. I'm going to talk about Isaac Kelly, who's all-state safety last year. He had 90 tackles, 13 interceptions, and in fact, he had 3 picks in Blytheville's loss earlier this year to Marion. So this is a Blytheville team that knows how to run the ball with D'Amico Clark, but they can also take it away from you. They had over 20 turnovers already this year. So
right, D'Amico Clark, they're definitely going to pound it to him tonight. If he can't get it done, then I believe their defense will. But D'Amico Clark's going to be the big player to watch tonight. But like you said, they have tons of talent on the Blytheville side. Plenty of talent to get it done tonight.
That's right. And just looking at Blytheville's schedule, again, tied at the top of their conference at the 5A East, 4-1 alongside Wynn, Forest City, and Batesville, handing Batesville their first loss in the 5A East since 2012 last week with a 33-14 victory. D'Amico Clark had 278 yards in that game, 2 touchdowns. So, again, a Blytheville team who's really put it together this year. Both teams getting ready to come out onto the field. Paragould has won the toss tonight, and they will, I believe, receive tonight's opening kick. And here come the Chickasaws underneath Coach Ben Fisher. Paragould yet to take the field here on senior night.
And we'd like to remind everybody out there tonight to follow us on Twitter at Tubetown. Let us know where you're watching from and use the hashtag Tubetown Sports tonight. And don't forget that tonight at halftime, we will reveal the winner of the second Viewer's Choice poll for Game of the Week between these 3 games: Hoxie at Manila, Osceola at Rivercrest, or Highland at Truman. Go to tubetownonline.com.
All right, and again, this is our first viewer's choice game
Ever
So
for Tubetown.
if you're watching this here on Tubetown, this is you're part of history
That's
tonight.
right.
Some other games of interest around the area: Truman at Cave City tonight, Gosnell at Westside, Osceola at Cedar Ridge, Manila at Corning. Mark Tree will play EPC tonight. Of course, we already told you about Wynn at Forest City, and another game of interest is Highland at Pocahontas. We saw each of those two teams play in the last 2 weeks, and that ought to be a pretty fun game to watch there. Chickasaw is out onto the field along with the Rams, and we're set for kickoff here in the first quarter. Chickasaw is wearing their away white jerseys with maroon pants, and Paragould wearing their home red uniforms. White letters, white trim. 3 men back deep to return for Paragould. There's a low line drive kick off the fingertips of one return man, picked up at about the 6-yard line. Taken across the 10 out to the 15 now, and Gang tackled very near the 20-yard line, and that is in fact where the Paragould Rams and quarterback Jacob Sullinger will come out for their first offensive drive of the night.
Andy, I think if Paragould has a chance tonight, it is going to be because of Jacob Sullinger. They like to spread it out, like to run him in the shotgun. So we're going to look out for him on the Paragould side of the ball.
Do like to run the ball with Sullinger. He's a senior quarterback for the Rams, 5'11", 160 pounds, and they come out with Sullinger under center. I beg your pardon. I thought it looked like maybe a pistol formation, but it's a shotgun, but he bobbles the snap, and he'll be taken down at the 15-yard line. Not the way the Rams wanted to start tonight's game.
Malik Smith getting in there right from the beginning for Blytheville and picking up the sack off that botched snap.
That'll set up second and about 16 for Paragould here on their opening drive. Again, Blytheville's defense is pretty stout, forcing over 20 turnovers on the year. Isaac Kelly, all-state safety. There's the snap, handoff, running off the left guard, still on his feet, churning. He's out across the 20-yard line down to the 22, it appears, and a nice pickup of about 6 yards. That'll make it 3rd and 9 now. Blytheville coming out in a 4-down lineman set. Tyrell King playing center field right now out at safety for the Chickasaws. There's a snap. It's a play action. Rolling out to his right is Sullinger. And that one,
it looks like it was picked off, Andy, and they will call it a pick. He looks like he got his
wasn't
foot
sure
down.
if he kept his feet in bounds or not, but it is indeed a pick, and that's Henry Lucas coming up with the interception for Blytheville. And they take over.
Maybe not, Andy. I believe they did rule him out of bounds, it looks like. I know he caught the ball, but it kind of surprised me there. I thought Sullinger was going to go out of bounds. He threw it at the last minute. The guy did pick it, but that will be an incompletion, and that will be a 3 and out for Paragould.
So they'll have to punt it away as they're already pretty far inside their own territory. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Paragould only averaging 8 points per game on offense this year. Meanwhile, they're giving up 28.
And that's rough, Andy, because last year whenever they played in Blytheville, they came out with the victory 34-15. So a lot of turnover after 1 year of play.
Facing again a tough Blytheville defense tonight. It looks like somebody might have jumped early, but I don't see any flags yet. Short punt out of bounds at about the 40-yard line as well, where they will mark it, and in some excellent field position for Blytheville on their first offensive drive of the game. 8 starters returning on defense for Blytheville, but their offense is pretty darn good also. They're averaging 36 points per game on the year, putting up scores of 44, 43, 48, and 53, making it over 40 points 4 times on the year.
And there's D'Amico Clark, Andy. I think we're going to see him get the ball quite a bit in this first half, and he may just be out there for the first half after this.
Better get your fill of him while you can, and he'll actually get the handoff fake to him. They run it up the middle and out to about the 32-yard line, and a nice pickup on the ground for Blytheville in their first play of the game. Quarterback Desmond Moore on the carry. Junior QB for Blytheville. They get the play from the sideline from Coach Fisher. 2 wide receivers set, 1 tight end, and a handoff goes to Clark. Clark running off the left tackle, runs into a wall of Rams, somehow still on his feet, and the Rams finally get him down. We already saw, Alex, you mentioned in the pregame, going back to week 1, that game against Osceola, we saw D'Amico Clark just blow up.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He scored 4 touchdowns that night. Tyrell King had a pick 6 also that night. It was just a total annihilation, though. Blytheville came out of there with a big win, and in large part, like you said, to D'Amico Clark's huge game.
Chickasaws picked up a first down on that last play, this time on 1st and 10. They'll hand it off up the middle, and somehow D'Amico Clark bounced off that first defender and picked up another 9 yards.
Yeah, it looked like there wasn't a hole at all, but then you see him dragging 3 red defenders up to close to the first down, and it looks like they'll have about 3 yards short of it as they set up again.
2nd and 7, they hustle to the line, not taking any time. 4 wide receivers now, and there's a flag. They blow it dead, as there's going to be, I believe, it's an illegal substitution, I think. Excuse me, illegal motion, rather. So that will back up the Chickasaws, the first penalty of the night for either side.
It will be an illegal substitution, like you said, Andy.
And so they'll back it up. It'll be now 2nd and 8. 4 wide receivers set again for the Chickasaws as Moore is in the shotgun formation with Clark to his right. He's going to throw it over the middle. Caught at the 10-yard line. Nice catch through the air for the Chickasaws, and it's Trey McDaniel hauling it in.
Yeah, that was a great catch by Trey McDaniel and a great release. He didn't have the ball for more than a second before he got rid of it. Nice catch, nice gain. First down, Blytheville, and they are moving towards the end zone.
In the red zone for the first time tonight, Clark, stutter step in the backfield. He's across the 5-yard line down to about the 4. And they continue to work Clark closer to the end zone. Blytheville's had the ball for about a minute and a half now. High snap. They keep it himself, and Moore will get into the end zone for the first touchdown of the night. 6-0. Blytheville leads here with 8:33 remaining in the first quarter.
Nice little option read there to D'Amico Clark. I think Moore was going to keep it the whole time. Paragould had their eyes all over Clark. Moore gets in for the easy 6.
Why not? When Clark's in the backfield, he's definitely the focal point for any defense.
We've seen a lot of that this year, Andy, where you have such a good running back, the defense has to focus on him, and it opens up other plays like we just saw.
Low snap. Hold was good, and the kick is good. Extra point will count. It's 7-0. Blytheville leads Paragould on the Tube Down Sports Game of the Week.
We are more than daily transactions. We are more than checks and debit cards. We are more than farmland. For the people of Poinsett County, we are more than just a bank. At First Delta Bank, we see the world through the eyes of our customers because we know that our customers are our most valuable investment. We are proud of who we are and want to earn your banking business. We are First Delta Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Nothing that whole first quarter, really.
Andy Manus and Alex Smith back here at Ram Stadium. 7-0. Blytheville leads. And Paragould's about to get the ball for the second time tonight. Went 3 and out on their first timeout on the field. Here's another low line drive kick. It'll bounce and go into the end zone for a touchback. So again, Paragould will start on their own 20-yard line. And Jacob Sellinger will lead the Rams back out onto the offense to see if they can do anything against this tough Blytheville defense. Blytheville again shutting out Osceola in week 1, 44-0. Able to hold Nettleton to only 21 points earlier this year. Held Valley View to 23 and held Batesville under 20. Again, handing Batesville their first 5A East loss since 2012. Paragould offense back out onto the field. Sullinger in the shotgun formation, and a whistle blown, and we're going to have a delay of game on the Rams. They'll back up 5 yards. It didn't look like any of the Rams knew there was even a play clock out on the field.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see, especially on 1st and 10 when you come out of a kickoff.
And you see some of the coaches on the sideline right now
He's wondering what happened too.
Kind of wondering what was going on. When you got to wonder if the referee, if they think the referee didn't notify them properly, or what the situation is.
8 seconds on the game clock again, 5 as they get to the ball, and they're going to have to snap it quick again unless they want another. There they go.
Running off to the right, ducking through and across the 15-yard line. That's Delbert Miller on the carry.
By Delbert Miller there, nice little pickup there. Makes 2nd down not as bad as that 1st and 15 was.
Well, and after running, picked up about a yard. It's a long way to run for 1 yard. Is now it's 2nd and 14. Blytheville again. They're going to be bringing 3 down linemen this time in pressure from the edges. Paragould looking to pass over the middle, high, almost picked off. And you see Tyrell King running towards the end zone. He would have been headed that way if he had managed to haul that one in.
Now, we talked about him having a pick 6 at the first time we saw them play this year, and like you said, he thought he had another one right there.
Scoring Tubetown touchdowns. That's what happens when we're in the house.
That's what happens, especially with Eric Wolf out there in Pocahontas. Every time we show up, he racks up 3 TDs or more.
Pocahontas playing Highland tonight. They defeated Gosnell last week in a battle of the undefeated. Tonight, the winless Rams trying to take on a Goliath in Blytheville. Flushed out of the pocket. Sullinger completes a pass at the 34-yard line.
That was a good-looking pass, Andy. He was running to his left and fired that ball about 20 yards downfield for a 1st down. You can see it right here. Great play for a high school quarterback.
That's very difficult throwing across your body like that, and not sure if that was his intended target or not, but it found its way into the arms of a Ram for a 1st down. So the Rams move the chains out to the 35-yard line is where they will spot it. They'll have it 1st and 10 and an empty backfield now for Sullinger. 2 wide receivers, 1 goes in motion, and everybody moved way before that ball was snapped.
The White Hat knew it right away. False start on Paragould. Set them back again.
So it will be 1st and 15 for the Rams, the 2nd penalty of the night. 3rd, actually. 2 so far on Paragould, 1 on Blytheville in the opening 4.5 minutes of tonight's game. Blytheville's won their last 8 out of 11 conference games, trying to make it 9 for 12 tonight. Running up the middle and gaining maybe a yard. Making it 2nd down is Jacob Sullinger. And I think everybody in the house knew that tonight's game was going to be a very difficult one to win against Blytheville. Again, they've really amped up and stepped up to the level of competition that's usually there every year in and year out in the 5A East. Blytheville went 6-5 last year, and now they sit at 6-2. Sullinger rolls out, throws, caught, oh no, dropped, right around the 36-yard line, and the Rams needed to haul that one in. Now it's 3rd and long.
Junior tight end Ryan Cochran there, he had his hands on the ball. I thought he came down with it, but he just wasn't able to hold on to it there. Brings him up with a 3rd and long now.
Well, 3rd and long, and we ought to see Sullinger firing again here. Trying to find another completion. Found one moments ago here on the near sideline. Should have had another one there, but dropped by the wide receiver. 2-man set for the Rams, 1 back in the backfield. Looking to throw. They're going to throw out to the flats, way over the intended receiver. And there was a Chickasaw bearing down right on top of Delbert Miller.
Yeah, Delbert Miller ran a little wheel route there to the left and tried to cut it up the sideline. Sullinger hit him in the hands, but the ball was a little bit overthrown. And that brings us up to the second punt of the night for Paragould.
Blytheville, one man back deep to return this one, standing at about the 40-yard line. Paragould punting this one away from their own 30. There's the kick. Nice spiraling kick. It'll go out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, and I think that's a pretty favorable spot maybe.
It is.
But good field position for the Chickasaws on their second timeout. Scored last time off of a 3-yard touchdown from Desmond Moore, the junior quarterback for the Chickasaws. Able to plow it down in there with D'Amico Clark, and we'll see what they do here, setting up again in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for Moore. Clark is in the background. They're going to throw it. Caught at the 50, out to the 45, and a nice hit over there for Paragould, and that's Jacob Sullinger laying the lumber. But not before the Chickasaws pick up a lot of yardage, moving the chains, making it 1st and 10 again now from the Paragould 45-yard line.
That was number 13, Walt Daniels, we just saw for the Chickasaws on that nice catch at first down.
This time they try to run it up the middle, but it was a good play by the Rams, stopping D'Amico Clark in the backfield.
That was Rasheed Henry getting back there first, the 180-pound junior for Paragould.
Blytheville running a little bit of no huddle here. They get back to the line and then get the play from Coach Fisher, and then they run their play. You don't see that too often in high school, as Clark could be out on a run here. He's at the 35, at the 30, dragging a defender down to the 26-yard line. How about that run from D'Amico Clark?
And that was Rasheed Henry again, getting his hands on Clark there at the end, and as you can see here, he'll drag him another about 5, 6, 8, 9 yards, Andy. D'Amico Clark running hard.
They fake the handoff to Clark again. It's Moore spinning up the middle. Out to about the 15-yard line is where they will mark him down, and he picks up another huge chunk of yards that might be enough to move the chains again. And it is.
Blytheville just cutting up this Paragould defense with Clark, Moore, the receivers, anybody they choose right now.
And here's this no-huddle offense run by the Chickasaws. They're going to hustle up to the line and run almost the same play. This time, Moore dodges one defender in the backfield, but taken down by 2 more right near the line of scrimmage. He might have gained a yard on the carry, but he avoided the damage.
That was a very impressive play, very athletic move to make that Paragould defenseman miss.
So it'll be now 2nd down, and Paragould catching a little bit of a break there in the first down streak for the Chickasaws. Throw from Moore out to the flats, and it hit the ground. And how about that awareness by Tyrell King? He turned and went to go find the ball in case it was a lateral pass instead of a forward pass, but it was incomplete. Chickasaws trying to run a little screen play here on 2nd down, and now they find themselves on 3rd down. It might be their first 3rd down of the night. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 15-yard line. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the far side for Moore, but they're going to be blocking for Clark. Clark with a stutter step. He's out across the 15. Now the 10. Still on his feet, inbounds, reaching for the end zone. I don't think he got there. He's at the 1, but what an effort. He did move the chains. It's now 1st and goal for Blytheville from the 1-yard line.
Andy, if I think Paragould would have been able to cut off that outside, they would have stopped D'Amico, and that's the one thing you got to do on the outside is cut off the end to make him cut upfield. They didn't. And a good player like Clark will make you pay every time.
1st and goal now for the Chickasaws. They're going to pass it. Little slant play. Caught by King in the end zone for a touchdown.
What a great play
Tyrell King with the touchdown. And there's the little slant, able to create enough separation between himself and the defender, but it looked like he also had a little bit of height on his man as well. Tyrell King standing in at 6'1".
He did there, and it looked like everybody on Paragould expected another run there, and great call by Blytheville to hit him on the quick slant, 6 points.
Extra point on the way. Kick is up, and that one is no good. So it will be 13-0. The Chickasaws score off of a touchdown pitch and catch from Desmond Moore to Tyrell King, and again, 13-0 is the score here in your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Kaiser LP Gas Company is a family-owned propane company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in Craighead, Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi counties in northeast Arkansas. Located on Highway 181 South in Kaiser, Arkansas, Kaiser LP Gas can fill all of your propane needs, whether it's for farm equipment, your home, or business. Kaiser LP Gas has you covered. Call today at 870-526-2198.
Andy Menace and Alex Smith back here for your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week. It is 13-0. Blytheville out in front on top of Paragould in the first quarter. 4:37 left to play. And so far, it has been all Chickasaws. D'Amico Clark eating up a bunch of ground on that last drive for the Chickasaws, and they're able to cap it off with a touchdown pass from Desmond Moore to Tyrell King. A distance of 1 yard. Kick. Muffed at the 5-yard line, taken across the 10, now the 15 and the 20, the 25, and hit from behind out to the 27. That's where the Rams will start their best field position of the night. This is their third offensive possession, coming with now under 4:30 left to play in the first. Alex, Paragould not able to get much going here on their first 2 times out.
Yeah, you're right. Aside from the score 13-0, it's good to see a team like Paragould, who hasn't won a game yet. They're putting forth a lot of effort. It is senior night, and they play decent defense considering it is Blytheville, and they are a powerhouse on offense.
They're going to run it to the right with Delbert Miller. Miller trying to find an edge, and he found a small one, but flung out of bounds, hit a referee.
He's got a smile on his face, though. He's all right.
He's part of the action. No flags, though, but a pickup of maybe a couple of yards on that run.
Nice patience showed by Delbert Miller there, trying to get around the outside, waiting on his offensive line to lay some blocks. And they did, but it's just not good enough right now for this Blytheville team.
Paragould really struggling to put points up on the board all year long, only averaging 8 points a game. And especially the last few weeks have been a real struggle for the Rams. Shut out by Batesville. Only scored 7 against Nettleton and Forest City, and a lonely 6 points against Forest City.
Well, when you have to play teams in a conference like the 5A East, like Wynn, Forest City, Batesville, Blytheville, Nettleton, Valley View, even Greene County Tech, they're all good schools. Of course, Greene County Tech and Paragould in the same boat this year, having a down year. But when you're in a conference like that, putting up points isn't easy.
It's not at all. It's
Yeah.
not at all. And Paragould actually playing Greene County Tech next week, capping off their season as they always do with that great rivalry game. And we're going to get a timeout out on the field from Coach Tim Branham. We'll take one with them. 13-0 is your score. 3:42 remaining in the first quarter here on your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Farmers Bank & Trust offers instant image debit cards. Showcase your school spirit, your grandkids, your pet, or your favorite sport. Walk in, open an account, and walk out of the bank with an instant image debit card ready to use. Finally, a debit card as unique as you from Farmers Bank & Trust. Traditional banking at its best. Farmers Bank & Trust, with locations in Blytheville, Gosnell, and Manila. Member FDIC.
And coming this January, we would like to tell all of you Tubetown viewers, I'm sure you already know, but we do prep basketball as well, and it will return shortly after football season. The official TV schedule will be released soon. It will be on our website, tubetownonline.com. Again, prep basketball coming this January to Tubetown.
Yeah, we got to take a little break after football and
We do.
let things settle down a little bit. Get our Christmas turkey in, of course.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving turkey as well.
I know we've started in the past before New Year's, but I think it's going to be a good setup this year because it's going to give us time to prepare and really give the audience a better show.
3rd and 5 here for the Rams. And they're going to run it off the left tackle with Delbert Miller, and he gets very near the first down marker, but not quite enough. It'll be 4th and short. After that, I think it was about a 4-yard pickup for Delbert Miller.
And they will go for it, Andy. Already down 13-0, and still on your side of the field. 4th and 1, you got to go for it here if you're Paragould.
Not sure they've They haven't crossed the 50 yet tonight.
I don't think so.
Two wide receivers. They hand it off, and he's going to get swallowed up in the backfield. It'll be a turnover on downs. And a quick 3 and out for the Paragould Rams as Blytheville will come back out on the offense. Just great penetration there by Blytheville.
Exactly. Great penetration. Chase Turner getting back there quick. 170-pound senior. He plays wide receiver and a little bit of linebacker. He did a real good job playing linebacker on that one.
Squared up and laying out Miller. And that brings the offense again back out on the field. 3:01 remaining here in the first quarter. Blytheville from the 37, their best field position in the game. They started from the 40 earlier tonight. And actually, their first drive of the game starting from the 40, but there's a flag out on the field. Play is blown dead. And the penalty looks like it will be on Blytheville. So they'll back it up 5 yards, and we'll replay the down.
Charge!
Miko Clark will be in the backfield again. Bunch wide receivers out on the far side. 3 wide receiver set. That's where they're going to go with it. Moore.
Oh!
Caught. Oh, no!
Andy, wow.
Boy, he did everything but catch that. Trey McDaniel made a great catch earlier. Couldn't haul that one in. He's kind of hard on himself there, but that would have been a tough one to reel in.
And I thought it was going to be picked off to begin, Andy, but that ball just hung in the air, and floated over the defenseman. Should have been caught, could have been caught, but they'll try it again.
Cameron Pearson just missing that. Might have got a fingernail on it for Paragould, but wasn't able to tip it or anything. D'Amico Clark now running up the middle, and he'll pick up maybe about 5 yards. That should bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Chickasaws.
That was good chemistry there by Moore and Clark. High snap over his head. He is still able to grab it, and I think before his feet hit the ground, he handed it off to Clark and made the best out of that bad situation.
4 wide receivers now for Moore. Clark again in the backfield. 20 seconds left on the play clock. They're taking their time getting the play from Coach Fisher.
Just about 10 seconds left on the play clock here as they get up to the line.
King is lined up in the slot here on the near side. They fake it. Moore will run it himself. Large hole up the middle. He's got running room. 5-yard line, touchdown.
Wow, that helps having a quarterback that can run like that, Andy. 3rd touchdown on the night, 1 passing, 2 running for Moore.
And he faked the handoff to Clark, and that was the only hand that got laid on him right there.
Absolutely.
Nice run there for Blytheville. Makes it 19-0 now with the extra point on the way.
And we'll see if they'll go for the extra point. They will. Some teams would like to come out and go for that too and kind of even up the score with an even 21-0, but they're going to go ahead and try to kick the field goal again.
There's the snap. Kick is up. And that one is through. 20-0 is the score. 2:02 still in the first quarter here of the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Action Medical Supply in Truman is a family-owned local business dedicated to providing the best medical supplies and service. Let us show you how much a back brace can enhance your life and relieve your pain. Medicaid, Medicare, and most insurance is accepted, and Action Medical will even deliver to your door. Stop by or call Action Medical Supply today at 870-483-6959.
Andy Manus and Alex Smith back here at Ram Stadium, where Paragould not faring so well tonight. 20-0 is the score.
We talked about before the game D'Amico Clark. We didn't talk much about Moore, and maybe we should have. He's scored all 3 of their touchdowns. Of course, 2 running. He threw a pass to King. That's where we see it, 20-0.
Well, he's got Ritter. He'll see this game. He knows that we were hyping D'Amico Clark. He's probably a little angry he wasn't getting any of the love here on this return. Paragould's going to get it out to about the 30-yard line. No, we absolutely certainly should have mentioned Desmond Moore, and we're seeing what he's capable of tonight, and we get to see him again next year.
Yeah, we do, and that's going to be a big help for Blytheville. We talked about turnover and how it can hurt some teams like Paragould or Greene County Tech, because Paragould won this game last year in Blytheville.
Won the last two, I think.
Yeah, and getting their quarterback like that, though, senior, he's already that quick, and he's just going to get better and better.
2 wide receivers set. They're going to pass it. Oh, and it's batted down at the line and
Almost
nearly picked off.
Yeah.
The big man playing up front for Blytheville, Derek Haley, rather.
Yeah, those roster charts they give us, I don't know why they put their last name first, but that's what.
Phone book style.
Yep. Regardless, good block down or knockdown. I thought he had the pick there, but good defense.
Blytheville's been running 3 down linemen all night. Paragould's only completed 1 pass. They've had 6 attempts. 1 pass was good for 19 yards. There's a second one. This one's good for 10 and more. Close to 20 yards on the pickup.
I believe you said they've only completed 1. That's not going to stop them. Dustin Granger, the big 6'3" senior, able to grab it at the height.
Well,
Take it for a nice gain there. Get them almost to the 50. I believe that's the best spot they've had it all night.
It was a good job by Sullinger putting it where only he could get to it.
Great throw.
So it moves the chains, and Paragould nearing the 50 for the first time tonight. Again, the shotgun formation for the Rams. A low snap, handed off to Miller. Miller up through the middle. He's able to pick up about 4 yards on the carry.
And if they can just get that out of Miller every time, they would have great success. If you can just get 4 or 5 yards and pound it out, but that's easier said than done, especially like we said earlier here in this 5A East.
Well, obviously, the one of the objectives when you come out on offense, if you're not going to go for a touchdown or bust every time, you want to try to keep the defense off balance, and that's a good way to do it, mixing it up, running and passing. They're going to run it again with Miller this time. Oh, and he got laid out at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards maybe a yard.
Nice tackle by Jackson. Like you said, he met a wall of Chickasaws there. Jackson was the leader, and he
saw that head whip back a little bit.
It did. A lot of contact there all around.
He got hit really hard as it's now 3rd and 4, nearing now the 30-second mark here in the first quarter.
This will be the last play of the first quarter, I believe, as we got 16 seconds on the play clock.
Down to about 10 now as the Rams head to the line. 2 wide receivers for Sullinger, 1 blocking tight end. He'll head out here to the near sideline. Sullinger looking to throw deep down the field, way over the head of his intended target. There was more Chickasaws in the vicinity than there were Rams.
And that was another wheel route. We saw that earlier. They ran it with Miller. This time they run it with Britt. Both times, though, nothing there. Chickasaws all over it. And I think Sullinger did the good thing there and just threw it out of bounds like he did the latter.
Brings up 4th and 4 now for Paragould with 8 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And now the play clock begins to run under 20 now, down to about 15.
I don't think they'll have enough time to get it off, but they are hurrying up to the line. Maybe they will.
Empty set now.
Clock
Miller goes
stop.
in motion. They pitch it out. Little stutter step move. Oh, and he got laid out at the 33-yard line. But how about that run by Jose Perez? 1 second remaining in the first quarter. They'll move the ball and start the clock, and then they'll change ends, and we'll do it again. But, man, that was a great run by Perez. Great little pitch out. And we will end our first quarter of play 20-0. Blytheville leading Paragould. We'll head to the second quarter and come back with more of your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week after this.
Whether it's a night out on the town or a special occasion, visit Bistro 1121 in Blytheville. Live music on Tuesday, prime rib special on Friday. Bistro 1121 on East Main in Blytheville. Perkins Restaurant and Family Bakery in Blytheville, newly renovated and open 5:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. daily. Stop by for any meal, anytime, or take home delicious sweets from our bakery. Perkins Restaurant and Family Bakery in Blytheville.
20-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter of play, but Paragould with a little bit of momentum right now, catching a big run from Jose Perez moments ago.
Yeah, that was a nice little run, nice little pitch from Sullinger there. Able to catch about 15 yards, able to get the first down anyway. He is hit pretty hard, but it's the best field position they've had all night.
Yeah, they are across the 50-yard line for the first time tonight and into Blytheville territory. We'll see what they can do with their first trip into enemy territory tonight. 2 wide receivers set here. Again, Miller in the backfield. 1 man goes in motion. Blytheville bringing pressure to that right side. They're going to hand it off to Logan Garner, and Garner will pick up a couple of yards on the carry.
Best drive we've seen tonight from Paragould, Andy.
It has been. They went 3 and out on their first drive. They punted away on their second. After a few successful plays, they were able to pick up 1 first down on their second drive, and then they turned it over on 4th down, their last time out. So certainly a more consistent drive here for Paragould this time as they run it with Miller. He follows his tackle up the middle, and it looked like they were trying to strip that ball out of there.
Yeah, they were. That was number 27, Corey Chun. He's a sophomore. He's trying to rip that ball out of there. Good hands by Miller. They're able to hold on to it.
Delbert Miller's a junior for the Rams, and he hasn't been able to find a whole lot of running room tonight, but we've seen that he is able to exploit the little gaps that he's able to get.
He has, of course, great defense by Blytheville, so whenever you're able to pick up 5 to 6 yards, then it's great running.
2 wide receivers here on the near side. They'll block for Miller. Miller lowering his head and getting out to about the 25-yard line, but that will bring up 4th down. And we've already seen, again, Paragould fail to convert a 4th down earlier tonight. We'll see how they do when the pressure's on to do it inside of enemy territory.
I think they're going to let Sullinger throw it again because 7 yards is quite a ways to go for a run here in this area, and Paragould usually does their best work when they're throwing the ball or let Sullinger get out in the open and let him run.
2 wide receivers set again here for Paragould. Miller in the backfield. They hand it off to Miller. Miller will run up the middle, and he's able to get the first down. Able to pick up about 5 yards on that carry.
Nice pickup and nice play call by Paragould. I don't know if Blytheville expected that. Able to pick up the first down and keep this good drive going.
1st and 10 now from the 21-yard line, nearing the red zone for the first time tonight. Coach Branham's got to be happy about this drive for his team. Two wide receivers will come out for Sullinger, and Miller is again in the backfield. Standing to his left, Sullinger's going to run it himself. He runs through traffic, and he is down very near the 15-yard line, and he missed a streaking Blytheville defender who, man, he got across the line of scrimmage quick, and if he had got hit, he'd have got hit hard.
Yeah, he was lucky there. That's one of those where you just thank the stars that you were able to slip by and follow your blockers up there for a nice little 5-yard gain.
That'll make it 2nd and 5 now from the 16-yard line, it looks like. Again, two wide receivers here on the near side. They hand it off to Miller. Miller is met immediately and thrown down in the backfield by Malik Smith.
Big tackle by a big guy, 200-pound junior. They're going to be happy to get him back next year. Blytheville with a lot of young talent on this team.
He ran right into his arms, and I think you're right. They're very happy to have him back standing mid-level next year. So that's a nice asset to have at the linebacker position. That'll bring up 3rd and 6 now for Paragould. And they'll come out now with one wide receiver on either side of Sullinger in an empty backfield. He's looking to throw, running to his right, flushed out of the pocket, throws off the fingertips of the intended receiver. He was trying to hit Kevion Britt there.
That was another pass where you hold your breath if you're on the Paragould side, because that was a floater and I thought it was almost picked off. And it brings up another 4th down. Great defense by Blytheville here. Way to hold the line.
Well, if there's one secondary you should be wary of throwing it into, it's certainly this Blytheville secondary.
Yeah, do not throw at King.
Don't throw at Tyrell King. Don't throw at Isaac Kelly. Either one of those will take it back the other way. So now 4th and 6 here for the Rams They converted a 4th down moments ago. We'll see if they can do it here. They look to throw, tipped at the line and nearly picked off. They were trying to hit the outside wide receiver on what looked like a slant route.
And Andy, I think no interference because the ball was tipped at the line. It was uncatchable regardless. I know that's not really a high school rule. They really look at that more in college or in the pros. But tip pass goes right back to Blytheville.
To Marcus Bohannon, the one who was able to bat that pass down and create the turnover. And so Blytheville will set up shop, which is going to be their worst field position of the night at their own 20.
They'll spread them out.
Moore throwing it in the backfield for Clark. Clark across the 15, now the 20, down the far sideline, pushed out of bounds, very near the 30.
Andy, he was in the backfield on that one, and he could have been 8 up for a loss. That's all Clark making something happen.
It was a little swing pass out in the flats for Clark, and he was able to make something out of nothing. It certainly looked like Paragould had that run bottled up. 4 wide receivers set with Clark in the backfield now for Desmond Moore. There's I think a fumbled snap, it looked like, as
not sure what happened there,
Blytheville was able to fall back on top of it. I'm not either.
Well, I think the center for Paragould's entire defense in Blytheville were the only ones who thought the play had started, but that play did happen. It's now 3rd and about 3 yards.
I'm not sure what transpired. The play clock right now sitting at 0. The referees think are trying to get that bumped up. No, actually, it's still sitting at 0. Moore looking to throw. Pump fakes, now throws back to the near side here, spinning across the 30-yard line.
There was a flag in the area holding on that play, Andy, so I think that first down may go for nothing.
Walt Daniels able to haul it in and pick up some nice yards on the ground there.
It will be a holding. White hat signals that. They're going to march them back.
Yeah, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Blytheville playing very, I would say, disciplined so far here in the first half. I think that's only their 2nd penalty on the night.
Yeah, we haven't seen many flags here tonight. That's surprising. Sometimes we see a lot. Usually we see a lot. But tonight, I don't want to jinx this again because usually when we say we aren't seeing them, that's when they start flying. But like you said, not a lot tonight. Very disciplined ball by both sides.
3rd and 12, Moore back in the pocket, throwing deep down the near sideline. King reaching out for it, can't haul it in. Oh, Tyrell King laid out to try to catch that one and got his fingertips on it just a little bit too far.
And that's one of those I think King wishes he could have back, as it was beautifully thrown. Maybe just a little bit too far. He slapped it twice.
Looked like he could have hauled that one in. Got a hand on it. Coach always said if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it.
That's right. At least he laid out for it, put out some good effort. But this is the first time Blytheville will have to punt tonight.
D'Amico Clark going to punt this one away from his own 5-yard line.
Very
Got
high.
A pretty good leg on him.
Good
and it'll
bounce.
take a Chickasaw roll all the way down to the 42. And that's an excellent kick from way inside their own territory. Now they will give it back to Paragould. And for the first punt of the night, that D'Amico Clark's legs have been fairly well warmed up, I would say.
Yeah, they are.
That punt had some serious hang time. We count just about 53 yards.
Unofficially, of course, but that was a great punt.
So 1st and 10 now for Paragould from their own 42. Again, pretty good field position for the Rams. We'll see if they can capitalize on it as Sullinger's going to take it out across the 45 down to the 47 as he runs off to the right side. And this is something that Paragould has seen some success in. Not much success in the passing game. Only completed 2 passes so far tonight, but their run game can't stick to that the whole time because it's had success, but Blytheville has also spent a lot of time in that Paragould backfield.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Blytheville is all over that run. 5 yards, 6 yards. That's the most I believe we're going to see Paragould get out of any run tonight. Something amazing has to happen here tonight for Paragould to get this win, and I think it starts with number 1 in the backfield.
Saw a nice little double reversal a little while ago that was good for 30 yards or so as Sullinger runs this one across the 50 And he gets near the first down marker, but still about 2 yards shy. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
And this is the territory where they'll go for it on 4th down as well. But like you said, 3rd down and 2, they're in good position.
Sullinger runs back out on the field. He's got the play. Blytheville's ready to defend this 3rd down play. Bringing out again 3 down linemen. A couple of rushers from the outside edge. 2 wide receivers here on the near side. One back in the backfield. They fake the handoff to him, and it'll be Sullinger who keeps it, and he's bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle by Chase Turner.
And that's the first time we've said Turner's name tonight, but what a great play. Able to stop the quarterback there, Sullinger, and keep him from the first down.
Great wrap-up. Went for the legs and was able to knock him down, and he wasn't able to pick up a single yard. So they'll replay the distance now, 4th down. And again, Blytheville will have to defend a 4th down stand. 2 wide receivers and 1 back in the backfield again for Sullinger. Blytheville is bringing pressure. They're bringing the whole house as Sullinger leaned up, and I don't think he got it. Alex, I think he's short.
There's a flag in the backfield, too. And it will be on Paragould. That's going to set him back, Andy.
Well, if he didn't make the first down, I would imagine that
it's a turnover, correct?
It's a turnover, but I guess on false start, you don't have the option to accept or decline that.
Play was over before it began.
So they ran it for no reason, and they will have to replay now. 4th and 7 from their own 45. Play clock has started, now down to 17 seconds, and we're going to get a timeout down on the field, so we're going to take one with them. 4:51 remaining in the first half. 20-0 is your score. Blytheville leading Paragould here in your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
And that commercial right there signifies our prep basketball that's coming up this January. The official TV schedule for our basketball season will be released soon. You all know where it's at, tubetownonline.com. Check it out, coming this January. We'll be back with some prep basketball.
Coach Tim Brandon talking to Jacob Sullinger. He's walking back out on the field now, the senior QB for Paragould, trying to convert this 4th and long. 4:51 remaining in the first half, and Paragould trailing the Chickasaws 20-0. Again, the shotgun formation for Paragould with a man in motion to the left side. High snap, Sullinger looking to throw, flushed out to the left, throws off his back foot, picked off, going the other way. Down the far sideline at the 20, the 15, the 10, one man to beat. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Blytheville.
Corey Chun, sophomore, on the pick. You can see it here, Andy. I think it was just jumbled up down there, and after this long little run out there by Sullinger, you see him, he just comes out of the pack with it.
We do have a flag out on the field.
Great lead blocking there, too, to finish it off.
That was Sullinger was the only player in red left to play, left to beat, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And that pick 6 will be taken off the board. And Corey Chun's celebration cut short. He heads back to the sideline. It'll be a personal foul. Shot to the head. It'll be targeting, yeah.
You don't see that very often, Andy.
You do not.
Now, I believe Blytheville will still have the ball because it happened after Blytheville picked it off, but that will negate the 6 points. Right.
45-yard line is where the Chickasaws will take over. And again, just had an interception by Corey Chun taken back for a touchdown, and that touchdown wiped off the board due to a targeting call. That happened after the interception, so Blytheville gets the ball anyway.
You know, we're having our replay guys going back and look at it and see if they can see what happened. If we see it, we'll get it to you. But that was the call.
Desmond Moore in the shotgun formation with nobody in the backfield for him. He's going to throw. He's throwing it deep. 2 men downfield to throw to. Nearly picked off by Paragould right off the fingertips of one of the Rams.
It was right in his hands, Andy. Yeah, and on that hit to the head, we couldn't find it on the replay, but that's the call here, and that's why Blytheville's back here on their own on Paragould's 45.
How about this? Up 20-0 with 4:32, getting ready to play this second down. They go for it. They go for it, the end zone there on first down. This time they fake it to Clark, and they run it up the middle with Moore. Moore's out to the 40, but they were going for the throat there on first down.
Yeah, and you wonder why we haven't seen so much Clark, and it may be that they're saving him for next week. Because right now they're really not needing him. But we haven't seen a lot of explosive runs out of him so far like we predicted before this night started.
Well, a huge matchup next week with Forest City, and the Mustangs are in action tonight against Wynn in that big rivalry game. So we'll see who comes out on top there. Again, everybody sitting at 4-1 out of those 3 teams. You throw Batesville into the mix, and that one, I don't know if it'll be incomplete or not. It will be.
We will call it incomplete. Just about a yard in front of him, no lateral there.
Trey McDaniel, the intended receiver. It's the second one we've seen him hit in his hands tonight, and he wasn't able to reel in. 3:55 remaining here in the first half, and it is now 4th down as the Chickasaws get ready to go for it. Shotgun formation again, and they'll hand it off to Clark. Clark reverses his direction, cuts upfield. He's at the 25, the 21 man left to beat, and he'll score. Oh, baby, what a run from D'Amico Clark.
Speak of the devil, we're talking about him, and where has he been? And right out of nowhere, stutter step, finds the gap, and then you can't coach what you're about to see. He's gone.
41 yards to the house. It is now 26-0. That was an incredible run. Heading to his
really
right,
was.
Reversed his direction.
On 4th down, especially.
That's when you trust your running back.
Great play call.
A 4th and long play. It was about a 4th and 5 as the extra point is up, and it is good. Now 27-0. Man, a 4th down play, and you hand it off to your running back, and he takes it into the house. That's trust right there. D'Amico Clark puts his Chickasaws up 27-0 over the Paragould Rams. 3:45 left to play in the first half. You're watching the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Kaiser LP Gas Company is a family-owned propane company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in Craighead, Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi counties in northeast Arkansas. Located on Highway 181 South in Kaiser, Arkansas, Kaiser LP Gas can fill all of your propane needs, whether it's for farm equipment, your home, or business. Kaiser LP Gas has you covered. Call today at 870-526-2198.
Andy Manus, Alex Smith back here at Rams Stadium. The Rams trailing the Chickasaws of Blytheville 27-0 with 3:45 remaining in the first half. A 41-yard touchdown run from D'Amico Clark moments ago gave the Chickasaws an extended lead. And looking at some scores around the area, this one of notable interest because it's concerning the 5A East and the top of the conference. Win up on Forest City 14-0 right now.
Another area game. Truman up on Cave City 30-22. High scoring game there.
A very tight one. Only an 8-point lead for the Wildcats. Kickoff taken at the 5-yard line. Now out to the 20, and that's about where Paragould will again come out onto the field at the 23-yard line. It looks like they have him marked. Again, if you're just tuning in, the 5A East conference has got quite a race going on. Everybody's kind of beating up on each other.
It really is.
Kind of turning into the SEC West a few years ago.
Now, we talked about it earlier. Top 4 teams right now are 4-1. Now, that's going to be decided a lot this week and next week with a lot of the matchups we got, and they'll figure it out. But 4-1 right now, this far in the season for the top 4 teams in the 5A East. Tough.
That's right. Rams out on offense, 1st and 10. They run it up the middle and out to the 25-yard line. It's about a 3-yard gain for the Rams, making it 2nd and 7.
And I think the best you can hope for right now if you're Paragould is to run this clock down to 0 before you get to halftime, because if Blytheville gets the ball again, they will score again. Based on, 4 out of their 5 drives so far, they have scored only 1 punt, and that was because they were so deep in enemy territory.
They took their time getting to the line of scrimmage. Now 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. Send a man in motion. They'll hand it off to him, and Perez took the handoff, but he'll stop in his tracks as there is a false start on the Rams. That'll back them up 5 yards.
We see that a lot in high school football, Andy, when they try to run that wildcat, that sort of wildcat, I guess. A lot of people run it. They'll get a false start, and we've seen that a lot this year, and we saw it right there too.
Seems like we saw it a lot last week with Gosnell.
We really did, yeah.
Seems like every time Gosnell tried to run that last week with Carlos Blackman, they just couldn't get the timing correct on it. So, and you mentioned that earlier in the game. Hadn't seen a whole lot of penalties earlier in the game, but now here nearing halftime, we've seen a few more.
Well, that's what happens when you start talking about the lack thereof.
Man goes in motion. 2 wide receivers set for Sullinger, who handed off to Miller. Miller bouncing off one defender. He's still on his feet. There's the whistle. And he was trying to get those legs churning to get a couple extra yards. He picked up maybe gain of 2, but the Chickasaws want a timeout out on the field, and we will take one with them. There's 2:26 remaining in the first half. The Chickasaws lead 27-0, and we'll come back with a third down play for the Paragould Rams after this on your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
We are more than daily transactions. We are more than checks and debit cards. We are more than farmland. For the people of Poinsett County, we are more than just a bank. At First Delta Bank, we see the world through the eyes of our customers, because we know that our customers are our most valuable investment. We are proud of who we are and want to earn your banking business. We are First Delta Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Andy Maness and Alex Smith back here, where it's 2:26 remaining in the first half. 27-0 is your score. A timeout called by the Chickasaws moments ago. Wanted to get set for this 3rd and long. Paragould takes the snap. Sullinger, and he just threw that one right at the feet. That'll be grounding, and that was that was a little bit of a water boy moment right there. It's a little bit of a blow the whistle kind of thing.
Okay, I didn't know if you could get one.
That'll be a loss of down. Well, he had a Chickasaw player dead in his face. That'll bring up 4th down now.
Okay.
They're going to have to punt this one away, and their punter will be standing in their own end zone.
And this is dangerous territory right here, because I believe Blytheville is going to be able to get in the backfield on this one, Andy. And when you're that deep in your end zone, trouble can happen.
Have to shorten that distance up a little bit between the punter and the center. And there's the block punt. No, not blocked. I think it might have had maybe a fingernail on it. I think I might have jumped the gun on that, but it gets out to about the 25-yard line.
I thought it was too, Andy, but Bohannon, he wisely enough was able to back off and not just destroy the punter on that one, because he was wide open on him, and usually that's what happens. But smartly enough, 21-yard line for the Chickasaws here with plenty of time left in the half to score.
This distance with D'Amico Clark, they could probably get it in one play. We've already seen him take it from a distance of 41. We've also seen a 37-yard touchdown rush from Desmond Moore. We'll see what happens now with 2:14 remaining. This time, then Moore will keep it, and he stretches out to maybe the 20-yard line, a pickup of about half a yard.
Moore, 3 touchdowns on the night. King has 1 catching. And Clark also with that big run on the previous drive. And also Blytheville to get the ball to start the second half. I mean, everything going their way tonight.
They're going to hand it off to Clark. Clark follows his blockers. He's across the 15. He's across the 10. He's across the 5. And he'll reach the end zone for a touchdown. Blytheville putting it in again.
Great blocking there. Great following your block. As you can see right here, 65 laying the block. And again, what you can't coach, speed.
He lowers the shoulder right there at the end to get past the final defender, and he's able to punch it in from 21 yards out.
And I believe you said before that drive happened, Clark could get that done in one play.
Making me look good.
Nostradamus.
They're going to go for 2 here with 1:40 remaining here. Desmond Moore, pass to the end zone, laying out. Did he catch that? He did. What an unbelievable play.
Let's take another look at that one, Andy. That was a great 2-point conversion play to make it an even 35-0. Roll out to the right, and not a great pass, but great
Trey
effort.
McDaniel.
Great, exactly. Trey McDaniel.
He was able to stretch out and grab that. Now it is 35-0 with $1:40 remaining in the first half. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more first half action on your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Farmers Bank and Trust offers instant image debit cards. Showcase your school spirit, your grandkids, your pet, or your favorite sport. Walk in, open an account, and walk out of the bank with an instant image debit card ready to use. Finally, a debit card as unique as you from Farmers Bank and Trust. Traditional banking at its best. Farmers Bank and Trust, with locations in Blytheville, Gosnell, and Manila. Member FDIC.
Andy Manus, Alex Smith back here with your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week. Blytheville now up on Paragould, 35-0. Kickoff is muffed at the 20-yard line, still not picked up, and I think a Chickasaw fell on top of it. They did. Maroon and white football, and when it rains, it pours for the Paragould Rams.
You hate to see that for Paragould, especially on senior night, but this is kind of the story of the season for Paragould right now, and the player had all day to pick it up, and great play by Blytheville, able to knock him down while the ball was still out, and they pick it up. And
Trent Teeger, just a sophomore, and you could see he kind of got into panic mode with so many players in white bearing down on him. 1st and 10 now from the 20. Moore throws it out to the far sideline, and I think it was dropped. That looked like Walt Daniels over there, and he couldn't haul that one in.
He was trying to run it before he caught it there. And a quick little 5-yard hitch, hoping to catch it and run with it.
And with $1:32, 35-0, you can expect a turbo clock to start next quarter. Moore running across the 20, stretching out to the 15. I don't think he quite got there. They'll mark him at the 17, but again, Moore showing what he can do with his legs. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight. D'Amico Clark with 2 touchdowns tonight. Blytheville doing it both on the ground and through the air.
Any way they want.
3 receivers bunched up here on the near side. They're handed off to Clark. Clark cuts upfield. Now carried forward. He's taken down near the 6-yard line. And with all that momentum running that fast, it's kind of hard to keep him from falling forward.
It's a lot of inertia happening.
Now under a minute. Play clock begins. 1st and goal for the Chickasaws with 4 wide receivers. 2 in the slot. Moore will throw out to the far side. Great catch, but it's caught at the 1-yard line by Daniels.
That was another great diving catch, this time by Daniels. A nice little 5-yard out route. And you expected that one to get in the end zone. You don't. So either Moore or Clark here, I expect, will take it up the middle and try to put it in for another 6 before this half is over.
Man, that was a great back shoulder throw from a junior quarterback, no less. That's great to see. But, Alex, I think you're right. Now 20 seconds left. They hand it off to Clark. Clark jukes into the end zone, but he gets smoked as he crosses the plane. And he is slow getting up now. He might have had the wind knocked out of him on that play.
And
he gets the 6 points, but it didn't feel good to get it.
He did pay for it. You see the big hit to the ribs there. He stayed down for a minute after that one, but he gets his 3rd rushing touchdown of the half and 6 touchdowns total right now. 7, as this will make it 42-0 if this extra point goes through.
And they're not going to go for 2. They just did it on that last drive to make up for that missed extra point, as Walt Daniel will come out and try to put this one through the upright. Kick is up, and it looked like it was good from here. The officials say it is. So we'll go with what they say. 42-0 is your score. 17 seconds remaining in the first half. And Blytheville gets the ball back after the first.
They do.
Back with more here on your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Whether it's a night out on the town or a special occasion, visit Bistro 1121 in Blytheville. Live music on Tuesday, prime rib special on Friday. Bistro 1121 on East Main in Blytheville. Perkins Restaurant and Family Bakery in Blytheville, newly renovated and open 5:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. daily. Stop by for any meal, anytime, or take home delicious sweets from our bakery. Perkins Restaurant and Family Bakery in Blytheville.
42-0 is the score. Chickasaws lead this one with 17 seconds remaining in the first half. That's right, 42 points in one half of football, but that's what you expect out of the Chickasaws here in 2015. They've scored over 40 points 4 times this year. Tonight they do it in the first half. He's set to kick this one away. Taken at the 10, now the 15. At the 20, out of the 25, now to the 30, spun around to about the 34. There is a flag down on the field, and that one came flying out quickly. It'll be a holding call on Paragould, so they'll back it up from the spot of the foul. And again, Paragould just continues to shoot themselves in the foot.
A really rough first half for Paragould.
And at this point, I mean, it's I don't know what else to say other than to call it rough. Would hate to be in the locker room for Coach Branham's speech maybe at halftime. But I think at this point in the season that you can't. I think your players are already pretty discouraged not having won a game, and here you sit 42-0. It would be hard to be a coach of this team.
It's a learning process now, I believe, and that's what they're going to have to do in football, and so it's also a life lesson, Andy. They're going to have to learn from it.
And referees just missed a face mask here at the end of the second quarter. They'll let the clock run out, and they'll head to the locker rooms. 42-0 is the score. Blytheville all over Paragould in the first half. We're back with some halftime stats for you during your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Say it loud, say it proud. Show your true colors with the new School Spirit debit cards and checks now available at First.
And maybe Paragould as well will get some of their B squad out there, or second string, I should say.
Try to get some of their younger players. And
yes.
I wonder what Coach Branham's message to his team was at halftime, given again that this team hasn't won a game all year long, and now they find themselves down 42-0 on senior night as this kickoff is muffed. It's still taken by the Chickasaws out to about the 32-yard line is where they'll come out on offense for the first time in the second half. We'll see who they bring out at quarterback and running back. Again, there will be some wholesale substitutions going on for the Chickasaws here in the second half as the clock is not going to stop. It'll be a quick second half of football here in Paragould tonight. First and 10 for Blytheville. I think they've got it marked right at the 31. And I'm still trying to see who's going to be coming out under center. And it looks like it'll be Caleb Hedger, a sophomore for Blytheville, and he'll take a high snap, bobble it, fall down on top of it at the 20-yard line. And this is a definite change of pace from the Chickasaw team we saw in the first half.
Yeah, you're right. The first half Chickasaw team we saw, they were able to do whatever they want, and that did not happen to the Chickasaws in the first half. And, of course, first time you bring out your players who need a little playing time, it happens on the first play, and we'll see if they can't work out the rust and get a drive going here.
3 wide receivers, but they'll hand it off up the middle, and that run will pick up maybe a couple of yards on the ground. Rodarius Weaver, the one who gets the handoff and picks up a couple of yards, making it 3rd and about the Craighead County line from here. Already 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Again, the clock won't stop for the whole second half. Handed off and swallowed up in the backfield. Big stop there
little Superman action, Cam Newton
did,
action
yeah.
after that sack. He was happy to get that one.
And we don't have 51 on our rosters, but he's the one who lit up D'Amico Clark as Clark scored that touchdown earlier in the second quarter. As he was crossing the goal line, number 51 came through, and he laid a pretty good lick on him, not before Clark got into the end zone. That does bring up 4th down. This will be just the second time that this is the second time that Blytheville has had to punt away tonight. This time they're 4th and Halliday.
That's quite a ways.
9:13 remaining. Low snap, low kick. Still got a lot of spiral on it, and it takes the Chickasaw roll to about the 40-yard line.
That's where Derek Haley will touch it, and they're going to get the players right out there. And like we've already said, the clock's going to keep running. This is going to be a 24 to 25 minute half, of course, because we will take a break after the third quarter. But 42 to nothing. Let's see if Paragould can get something going, and it looks like Sullinger's still out there for them. So they're going to see if they can put any points at all on the board.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the game. Alex, Paragould in a little bit of rebuilding mode. They're just they don't have the numbers that the program is used to, and so they're having a little bit of a down year. Obviously, I think that's quite an understatement. As Sullinger runs this one up the middle, he's able to fight forward, still on his feet. How about the scrappiness being shown by the senior QB?
And the numbers are absolutely something that plays a factor when you talk about the number of players. And good to see the young man get up there after he took a little hit, but he's getting right up at senior night. That was Caleb Little. He is a senior. He pops right back up, ready to go. But the numbers on the sideline, they always seem to help. And like you said, Paragould's in a down year, lacking some players and some seniority here. But we'll see if they can get that back together. They're going to have to in this 5A East because this is a very tough conference.
Delbert Miller running off to the right guard this time, picking up maybe a yard or two. And Alex, you said it, playing in the 5A East, there's a lot of competition in the 5A East year in and year out. And you got to find a way to hang in there with your competition, and having a down year and not having the numbers that you're accustomed to is certainly makes it difficult to do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we talked about it earlier. Blytheville, Batesville, Forest City, and Wynn all sitting at 4-1. Now that will get solved this week and next, as these teams will battle each other. But yeah, very, very tough conference. And if you're rebuilding, you're probably going to have a season like Paragould had, because a lot of these programs don't rebuild. They just replenish every year, and they put new players in at their positions, and it's like nobody even left. But there are these circumstances like where Paragould and Greene County Tech haven't won a game yet this year.
And they're kind of, unfortunately, battling each other, it seems like, as far as that talent pool goes that you speak of, being in the same town in such close proximity to each other.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that talent ends up getting split up between the two squads. 4th and 1 here for the Rams. They're going to run it with Sullinger. Sullinger powers ahead. He's able to cross the line of scrimmage, picks up about 3 yards on the carry. He's able to move the sticks. And
good effort by Sullinger. I mean, you're down 42 to nothing, and he's lowering his head and jumping for a 1-yard 4th and 1. Great to see that in this kind of game here.
Well, and you go back and talk again about the numbers. It's difficult to try and keep up with a team like Blytheville who just run all over the place, spread the ball out, and it's hard because you get fatigued whenever you have to run around that much. And Blytheville's certainly a team that'll spread you out. This time, Sullinger with some nice moves out on the field. He's across the 20-yard line, very near the first down marker. Nice run on the ground there from Sullinger.
And he is a senior, too. He's giving it all he's got. We'll see if he's got enough to take Greene County Tech next week. One of them will have a win, and it will be the biggest win of the year for them, as it is against their rival. So, big game for both of these teams next week.
That's an interesting way to put it. Puts a lot of incentive on next week's game, even though it's featuring two teams who have yet to win a game in conference.
I bet it will be an exciting game, and I bet the players, fans, and everybody from this town will have a good time next week. It is a big rivalry.
Yeah, that'll be a huge
Always
game
is.
next week. Greene County Tech right now trailing Batesville, by the way. They were trailing trailing 24 to nothing at half.
Wow.
So Batesville up again. They're 4-1 in conference this year. Forest City and Wynn in action tonight. And waiting to see who's going to come out on top of that game as well. Two more teams that are 4-1 in conference play. During the 4-minute, 30-second mark, Paragould in the red zone right now of Blytheville. They're at the 15-yard line with a 1st and 10. Make that the 17-yard line. Two wide receivers. They're going to fake the handoff. Sullinger keeps it himself. And how about Sullinger? He's out across the 10-yard line now. And again, very near the first down marker.
And speaking of scores in the area, Manila is up 35-6 right now.
So again, with that win tonight over Corning, Manila will have a huge party tonight as they're celebrating their first playoff berth.
Congratulations to Manila. We'll see y'all Thursday.
Playing a interesting game with the Hoxie Mustangs next week on Tubetown. Handed off to Miller. Delbert Miller lowers the shoulder. He's across the 5, but pushed backwards by a pile of Chickasaws.
Great effort by this first team Paragould offense. They're sticking out there. Of course, it is senior night. They're going to let these boys play, and they're still not slacking.
Well, and this is I think what they've been wanting to do all year. They've really controlled the ball here on this possession, and they're eating up. Obviously, the clock has not stopped because we're in turbo clock right now. They're eating up a lot of that game time, and looking at their game plan, I think that's what they like doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sullinger's going to stutter step, running up the middle, leaning across the goal line, and he got it. Paragould finds the end zone for the first time tonight, now 42-6 with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
And fitting that their senior Sullinger, who's just giving it about everything he can, fitting that he gets in and gets the 6 points.
He worked hard for that 5-yard gain. And you said it, he's been working hard all night, putting out a lot of great effort. We'll see if they can put the extra point through the uprights and make it 42-7 as the clock continues to wind down here in the third quarter. There's the snap. The hold is good. Kick up, and it looks like that was a little too far left, but nope, the referees say it was good. 42-7 now the score after the 5-yard touchdown run from Jacob Sullinger. The Rams still trail.
We are more than daily transactions. We are more than checks and debit cards. We are more than farmland. For the people of Poinsett County, we are more than just a bank. At First Delta Bank, we see the world through the eyes of our customers because we know that our customers are our most valuable investment. We are proud of who we are and want to earn your banking business. We are First Delta Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Andy Maness and Alex Smith welcome you back to Rams Stadium. The Paragould Rams finding the end zone for the first time tonight. A 5-yard touchdown run from quarterback Jacob Sullinger. He drove them all the way down the field, about 60-some yards, and was able to find the end zone, get the extra point. And they now trail 42-7. Short kickoff taken just in front of the 35-yard line, now out across the 40. Hit hard from behind now at the 44-yard line is where Blytheville will come back out. Saw their B team come out onto the field, their first offensive possession of the second half, and they had a quick 3-and-out.
They did after that quick snap over the head on the first down play. Like you said, they went a quick 3-and-out, and definitely not their first team offense.
And here in just 2 possessions, we're nearing the end of the third quarter here. The turbo clock has indeed been turbo. 4 wide receivers set here for the Chickasaws in the shotgun formation. They'll fake the handoff, and they're going to run it off to the left. Breaking one tackle and another out across the 50, down to across the 45 to the 44. And a nice gain on the ground there for the Chickasaws.
Nice little gain by Malik Smith. Had a few players hit him in the backfield. He bounced off quite a few Paragould players before he got the first down across their 50 in enemy territory. Great little run there by Smith.
And we're going to see Smith in the backfield once again taking snaps. Not listed as a quarterback, but he's taking snaps right now as Blytheville loses the football. Dropped as it was snapped by Rodarius Weaver, and that will be the end of the third quarter, Alex.
That's it. That's it. End of the third, Andy.
42-7 is your score as we head to the fourth with more Turbo Clock in store for us here at Ram Stadium. You're watching your Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Kaiser LP Gas Company is a family-owned propane company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in Craighead, Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi counties in northeast Arkansas. Located on Highway 181 South in Kaiser, Arkansas, Kaiser LP Gas can fill all of your propane needs, whether it's for farm equipment, your home, or business. Kaiser LP Gas has you covered. Call today at 870-526-2198.
Anyways. Andy Maness and Alex Smith back here with you at Ram Stadium, 42-7 as we get set to start the fourth quarter. Turbo Clock is in effect, and the Chickasaws have been in control of this one for the majority of the night. Only had one offensive possession in the third quarter, and they went 3 and out. We'll see what they can do here. Is late substitution coming on the field for the Chickasaws. And a lot of experience in here for these younger players. They're going to fake the handoff and run it, and Malik Smith again in at quarterback, and they tried to run a little bit of an option there, Alex, but it didn't look like there was much of an option. Malik Smith looked like he knew he was going to run with it the whole way.
Yeah, I think whenever he was going to hand it off to the read option guy he saw the defense was already too close. He said, forget about that, I'm just going to take it and get what I can, and he did. Wasn't much.
He didn't even wait on the option to get out in front of him. He ran right alongside the running back the whole way. 3rd and 13 now. Pass out to the flats at the 50, and that was not Malik Smith in at quarterback. And again, that was Caleb Hedger. Hedger just a sophomore, but trying to get some reps here before tonight's game is over. Completes that pass out here near the sideline, and it's going to be 4th and 10. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
And we know most of you who went and voted for that Hoxie at Manila game this week has seen our new TubetownOnline.com, but we encourage everybody out there to go check it out. It is new and redesigned. You can order DVD copies of any game that we've done this year, and you can get basketball games here in the future. So make sure to go to TubetownOnline.com and check out that redesigned website.
Caleb Hedger in trouble, sacked in the backfield. He stepped up in the pocket, did good for a sophomore there initially, but I think the pressure just got to him there. He didn't know what to do with it once he had stepped up. But you see here, makes a good move, gets past the first defender, tied up around the feet, but the rest of the defense was just able to catch up with him.
That was a very good football move. I mean, when you got guys running at you from both sides, your instincts are not to step forward, and he did that. It just so happens his nose guard got blown up, and he had guys coming from the left, right, and middle, and that was it.
So that will be a turnover on downs for Blytheville. That's their first one of the night. Paragould comes back out. Start this offensive drive on the 49-yard line of Blytheville. Handed off to Delbert Miller. Miller with a lot of speed here as he finds an edge across the 45-yard line, but Blytheville quickly caught up to him. Stopped at the 42, I believe, of the Chickasaws. Now under 10 minutes left to play here in tonight's game. Again, the clock will not stop till the end. An excellent first half of play by the Chickasaws led this one 42-0. And Paragould was able to find the end zone last quarter with senior quarterback Jacob Sullinger trying to do it again here to get some momentum. Looking forward to that rivalry next week with Greene County Tech. Sullinger takes it himself, runs it up the middle and across the 40-yard line. And he is a little bit ginger on that left leg, it looks like.
He is, Andy. He's been running it all night, so it's surprising he's not more beat up than he is. But it looks like they are going to get him off the field. Well, I don't know. He's acting like he wants to stay. His receivers and Delbert Miller are telling him.
I think they're trying to find some help to get off the field.
And look at him doing it himself. Wow.
I don't know if that's maybe a cramp, but they ran out of play clock as well. We didn't see any flags come out, so they must not have started the play clock, but Sullinger's here on the sideline, and the way he's looking, it looks like it could be just a cramp.
It does. I hope so anyway, Andy, because yeah, they are. We see them down there on the sideline. They are working on it like it's a cramp. So that's good news. That's one of the that's one of the most minor things that can happen to a player out here.
But if you get a cramp, it smarts an awful lot. It's not something you want to have, and it will make you walk on one leg.
Well, for non-athletes like me, it'll make you jump out of bed in a hurry if you get one, I tell you that.
Pick up on the ground here by the Rams of about 2 yards, making it 2nd and 8. Play clock has started now under about 15 seconds. Game clock continues to tick down, nearing 8 seconds. 2 wide receiver set, low snap, handed off to Miller anyway. Miller running up the middle is able to pick up maybe a yard, but not much more than that, as it's kind of a busted play from the get-go on a low snap, but they were able to field it and pick up maybe half a yard.
And this is what you like to see. Both times Paragould's had the ball here, aside from the score they've had. That was a great drive, but again, they're doing it again. They're doing it slow and arduous, doing what they can to learn from what is happening right now, and they're making the best of it right now.
2 wide receivers set here on the near side. There's the handoff. They're going to keep it themselves. Running up the middle, across the 30-yard line. Oh, hit hard. Quarterback tried to go lower than the defender, but the defender was already as low as he could go and couldn't quite slide in there.
Senior Henry Lucas said, no way, you're going to get hit on this one, and he did.
They did move the chains, making it a Paragould first down. They're near the 27-yard line, making it 1st and 10 near the red zone. Ball spotted at the near hash mark. And the game clock now at about 6:40. Paragould again just trying to find the end zone one more time here tonight. There's the snap. They'll run it off to the left side. Across the 20 after the stutter step and out of bounds. And Sullinger, who's back into the game, is able to pick up and maybe another Ram first down. It is another Ram first down. They'll move the chains now, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15. And you see Sullinger still trying to stretch out that cramp he's got. Right leg must be really acting up on him out there, but it didn't look like it was bothering him, Alex, too much on that run.
No, I think he's biting the bullet on this one, and he's just stomaching it because this is senior night for him, and it's something you don't want to look back on and say a cramp kept me out of my final few plays here at Rams Stadium.
Last time wearing that home red uniform here. Handed off to Miller. Miller met immediately at the line of scrimmage. A great tackle by Eugene Garrett.
Yeah, Eugene Garrett there getting in on that one. The 165-pound junior. We'll see him again next year.
5:35 now remaining in the 4th quarter. They'll reset and play 2nd down now. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Again, big game coming up next week with Greene County Tech. Two wide receivers set here for the Rams with one back in the backfield. Man goes in motion. They're going to try to pass this one. Got a man in the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. The Rams find the end zone again here with 5:09 remaining in the 4th quarter. Hauling that in was Ryan Cockrell.
And you see Sullinger here with a nice pass right over the head of the middle linebacker and right under the safety. Great catch by Cockrell, the junior. Touchdown.
He laid that in there perfectly for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Now 42-13.
And that's why you stay in the game on senior night, because you get that right there.
Got that one last touchdown pass. There's a snap, hold good, kick is good as well. It is now 42-14, 5:09 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Go ahead and step aside for another quick break. Come back with more 4th quarter action here from Paragould on the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.
Kaiser LP Gas Company is a family-owned propane company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in Craighead, Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi counties in northeast Arkansas. Located on Highway 181 South in Kaiser, Arkansas, Kaiser LP Gas can fill all of your propane needs, whether it's for farm equipment, your home, or business. Kaiser LP Gas has you covered. Call today at 870-526-2198.
Nice touchdown pass from senior quarterback Jacob Sullinger. moments ago to Ryan Cockrum, 16 yards out for his second touchdown of the night here on senior night. Paragould still trailing Blytheville, though, 14-42 with 5:09 remaining in the fourth quarter. Getting ready for the kick. There's the kick. They have to come up to take this one, and they field it at the 20. Now the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40, and they had a lot of running room out in front of Tamarcus Bohannon. Bohannon takes it out towards midfield, and here come the Chickasaws as time will continue to tick down.
I think we're going to see quite a few run plays from Blytheville here if they can't get a first down here. But if I think they can string together a few first downs, they can run this clock out.
Sophomore quarterback Caleb Hedger back in at quarterback. He'll hand it off, running to his left. Might be one of the freshmen for Blytheville. An unlisted man on our roster. Number 23 gets the carry off to the left side. Picking up maybe 3 yards on the gain, making it 2nd and 8, actually. They'll give him 2 yards on the gain. Hedger with one man standing to his left, 3 wide receivers. They'll hand it off to him, and he's going to get swallowed up in the backfield, tackled rather nastily. Kind of got bent at an awkward angle there. Sometimes you see some of these players get tackled, and Alex, I'm amazed that nobody winds up injured. They get bent in all sorts of positions that just don't look natural, and that was one of them.
Yeah, these guys are definitely athletes. If you ever step out on that field, you're an athlete, and some of their bodies are able to take it, and then sometimes not. And it's great to see, though, tonight in some of these tackles and big hits that we haven't had anything more than a cramp.
You're absolutely right about that. 42-14 here with 3:20 remaining in tonight's game.
We're going to let the play clock go down right at 5 now.
Hand it off, running to the left.
And I think they're going to punt it here, Andy. It's going to bring up 4th down again. Well, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like they're bringing anybody out.
Yeah, they're not bringing the punt team out.
We'll see what they do here.
Now under 3 minutes left. Fourth and 11, again 42-14. Again, we want to remind you next week to join us on Thursday night for Hoxie and Manila. Big hit right there on 4th down as Paragould forces a turnover.
Sophomore Jose Perez still laying the lumber this late in the game.
That was a good stop to get the ball back here at the end of the football game with a chance to maybe put it in the end zone one more time and make that score look a little bit better than it might feel here on senior night. Just to kind of recap that first half, it was a 42-0 first half for the Blytheville Chickasaws. 3 touchdowns for junior quarterback Desmond Moore, 3 touchdowns for senior running back D'Amico Clark. Very well-balanced attack on offense for the Chickasaws tonight, and that's why they lead this one 42-14. Sullinger back to pass on 1st down, passes deep, well over the head of his intended receiver. Had a step on his man, but just not quite fast enough to track that one down. So now that'll bring up 2nd and 10. We'll see what they want to dial up here for the end of the game. Minute 15, only time for just a handful more plays. 2nd down for the Rams. Sullinger's going to run this one off the left side. Got a nice block there, cuts back at the 35, and that kind of RKO'd there almost at the end.
Yeah, Sullinger's still giving it all he's got like this is a tie football game.
And how about that? There's less than a minute left to play, and how about the hustle from the Paragould Rams? Alex, I love that.
They want to score.
I absolutely love that from this Ram football team. 3rd and 4th here. We'll see if they can do it. They're going to throw it. Throw it out to a little hitch route at the 30, and it's caught by the tight end trying to stretch forward and get a 1st down, and I think he might have got there. but 34 seconds left. See what they can do with the remaining time. Now 4th and 1 as Dustin Granger wasn't quite able to stretch it out far enough.
Maybe 2 more plays here, Andy. We'll see what happens.
Paragould still got all their timeouts. Wouldn't be surprised to see them call one. Gonna throw this one. Looking to throw on 4th and 1. Sullinger flushed out of the pocket. Gonna throw to the end zone. Got a man at the 1. Caught it. It's a touchdown. Jose Perez will haul in the final touchdown of tonight. That stops the clock with 3 seconds remaining. How about Sullinger? All the time in the world. He was flushed out of the pocket. How about the patience to keep his eyes downfield and wrap up tonight's game with his 3rd touchdown of the 4th quarter. That one coming from 30 yards out.
Great to see that from Paragould. Great to see that from your kids, giving it all they got to the very end, despite the score. I can't say enough about that. Being an announcer with a score like this, you don't have much to talk about, but that right there, that's really impressive.
And the extra point caps it off, makes it 42-21. I tell you what, the score might be a little bit, might leave you feeling a little bit flat when you leave the stadium here tonight on senior night. But boy, that gives a lot of momentum looking forward to next week with that game with Greene County Tech.
And hopefully they'll play that up-tempo offense next week against Greene County, because that's what's worked best for them tonight is when they're able to get going like that and let Sullinger play around like he did and put some points on the board.
Sullinger has had a fire in his belly here in the 4th quarter.
Absolutely.
He just absolutely came alive. And how about capping off tonight's game with a 30-yard touchdown pass, and on 4th down, no less.
No less.
And here it is again. There you see, flushed out of the pocket, 2 Chickasaws in his face. Steps up, makes a throw at the last second to find a wide-open Perez. And he just turns around and steps across the goal line for 6.
And a pretty meaningless kickoff here with 3 seconds left, but they're going to go ahead and kick it off so that it will be regulation, and they'll finish this game with a total time.
Well, and you wonder if you tell your kids to kind of hold up and make sure nobody gets hurt on this kind of play also. But Tyrell King takes the kickoff, and we know he's not going to hold back. But there's the whistle ending tonight's game. 42-21 is your final here at Ram Stadium. I'm going to do a post-game tonight here from Ram Stadium. Just going to go ahead and wrap things up now, but want to say a special thanks to everybody who made tonight's broadcast possible. Thanks to Marcus, Brandon, our stat man Wes, Tyler, Anthony, Nathan, and our cameraman Richard. Just appreciate those guys for all their hard work. Don't forget to join us next Thursday as we're back for another Viewer's Choice Tubetown Game of the Week. We'll wrap things up with the regular season next week with Hoxie at Manila. The Hoxie Mustangs in town to face the Manila Lions, who are hopefully finishing off a playoff berth clinching win tonight. It's a mouthful. I was trying to get that out. Manila is right now winning 47-14 over Corning. So it sounds like they've got that first ever playoff berth in school history clinched. We'll see an excited Manila Lions football team next Thursday night, and we hope to have you back with us for next week's game on Thursday. It'll be a little bit different doing things on Thursday as opposed to on Friday. I think all week next week I'll probably be saying, all right, Friday night. We'll see what happens.
Hope we're not a day late.
I hope you're right. Again, thanks to everybody who made tonight's game possible. Hope to have you back with us next week. Same time, same channel. It's the Tubetown Sports Game of the Week. Again, your final from Paragould. Blytheville 42, Paragould 21. For Alex Smith, I'm Andy Maness saying so long. We'll see you next Thursday for another Tubetown Sports Game of the Week.